The Catechism of Perseverance. Course 1, Chapter 14. Man considered in his relations to God. Question: in what state was man created? Answer: man was created not only with all the qualities and all the privileges of a perfect nature, but also in a state of grace and supernatural justice. He was created without having merited it. He was created exempt from miseries and infirmities, and moreover, destined for a supernatural end. Question: explain this last truth, namely man's being destined to a supernatural end. Answer: man as a finite being had a right only to a finite happiness, to see God in his creatures as in a mirror. But God in his goodness destined man to see him face to face for all eternity, as the angels see him in heaven, which is a happiness infinitely greater than to see him only in his creatures. Question: did God owe this happiness to man? Answer: God did not owe this happiness to man, who could not have attained it by any virtue of his nature. Therefore, it is called supernatural. Question: how can man arrive at this supernatural happiness? Answer: man can arrive at this supernatural happiness by grace, by the lights and supernatural help which God gives him, and which do not destroy his nature, but perfect it. Question: what then is the end for which man has been created? Answer: the end for which man has been created is to know, love, and serve God on earth, to possess him and see him face to face during all eternity. Question: was man in the state of innocence happy? Answer: man in the state of innocence was happy. His understanding knew all that it ought to know. His heart loved all that it ought to love. His body was exempt from infirmities and was immortal. After having adored, loved, and contemplated God in his creatures, he would have gone, without suffering the pangs of death, to contemplate him face to face in heaven with the angels. Question: how was the first woman created? Answer: God sent a mysterious sleep upon Adam, during which he took from him, without pain, one of his ribs, and out of it formed a body, to which he gave a rational soul. Thus was the first woman created. On seeing her, Adam exclaimed, "This now is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh." The Lord then blessed them and instituted the holy state of marriage. Question: what command did God give to our first parents? Answer: thus far, God had spoken to our first parents only their authority and their happiness. It was but just that he should require the homage of their gratitude. He told them to eat of all the fruits of the terrestrial paradise, except the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Question: were our first parents bound to obey God? Answer: our first parents had every reason to obey God. 1. This command was very just. 2. It was very easy. 3. They had all the graces necessary to keep it. 4. They had every motive not to violate it. Their happiness in this world and the next was to be the price of their obedience. Question: by whom were they tempted? Answer: they were tempted by the devil. God, whose wisdom and power are infinite, had formed creatures, purely material, such as the plants and animals, others material and spiritual, such as man, and other purely spiritual, such as the angels. Question: what are the angels? Answer: the angels are creatures purely spiritual and superior to man. Some of them revolted against God and were immediately punished and changed into devils.